inclined to believe that at this point, Rachel Maddow just doesn't care. I don't know that as a flat fact, but there's segments of her show that comes up where it comes across as if she just doesn't care. She's devolved into the thing of a classical propagandist. I don't know how she justifies this, because I would imagine Rachel Maddow does know better. But for whatever reason, and I've done multiple shows on this, where she would weave a story with radical innuendo and mislead with a misleading narrative to her audience. And she would push this. Rarely retractions. I'm not aware of any particular retractions. She just goes on night after night after night after night. I'm not saying everything that she puts out is this way, but every so often she puts out something that goes along in a particular direction where she's weaving a narrative that Rachel Maddow has to know is completely wrong. Completely wrong. Take a look at this. Aaron Matei flagged this clip of Rachel Maddow. Listen to what she says here, and I want to explain a key bit of information that is completely being omitted, and other parts of it that are being interlaced that have nothing to do with each other. She is misleading her audience. She is weaving them down a rabbit hole that in many parts are incongruent with one another. Let's take a look at let's go here. Yeah, right here. And
then Chelsea.
All right. Let Rachel Maddow do her thing. Let her do her thing.
Chelsea Manning, of all people, also appeared at that same courthouse, walking out at the end of the day to tell reporters that she was there to fight a grand jury subpoena to testify in a sealed case. Chelsea Manning, of course, went to prison for her role in supplying documents to WikiLeaks, documents that WikiLeaks later posted online. So if there is a new criminal case involving WikiLeaks and Julian Assange, you can at least draw a dotted line to Chelsea Manning as somebody who might be facing a grand jury subpoena to testify in conjunction with such a case. And that scene at the courthouse today came after another WikiLeaks volunteer this weekend announced publicly that he is cooperating with federal prosecutors in a case related to WikiLeaks. He this weekend announced publicly facing.
All right, she's talking kind of fast. All right, let her. I want to give this part.
A grand jury subpoena to testify in conjunction with such a case.
All right, Chelsea Manning. That's the first point. Let's keep going.
And that scene at the courthouse today came after another WikiLeaks volunteer this weekend announced publicly that he is cooperating with federal prosecutors in a case related to WikiLeaks. He told reporters this weekend that he is seeking an immunity deal in conjunction with his testimony in a case involving WikiLeaks. So,
all right, we have Chelsea Manning and we have this guy. Let her keep going.
All of this to say, between that court filing error in November, the reporting around that error that suggested that it was weird that he was in that case and it was a mistake, but the information was true, and then what we saw today in Virginia, something appears to be happening in federal court that pertains to WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. And this is happening as the president's longtime advisor, Roger Stone, goes to trial for lying to Congress and witness tampering, allegedly, about his supposed communications with WikiLeaks during the campaign. It happens potentially as he's going to jail for violating the gag order in that case. It happens as tons of people associated with the president and his campaign are being asked detailed questions by the Judiciary Committee about their interactions with WikiLeaks, including during the campaign. And it happens within a week of the president's longtime personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, testifying in Congress that the president himself was personally notified by phone in advance about WikiLeaks' plans to dump stolen material that Russia hacked from the Democrats during the campaign.
All right, I want to go through this piece by piece because there's bits of information that need to be aired in order to kind of make the point of the problem with what you just saw. So this part, Chelsea Manning. Yes, Chelsea Manning is going into a court case on WikiLeaks.
at that same courthouse, walking out at the end of the day to tell reporters that she was there to fight a grand jury subpoena to testify in a sealed case. Chelsea Manning, of course, went to prison for her role in supplying documents to WikiLeaks, documents that WikiLeaks later posted online. So if there is a new criminal case involving WikiLeaks and Julian Assange, you can at least draw a dotted line to Chelsea Manning as somebody who might be facing a grand jury subpoena to testify in conjunction with such a case. And that's.
Let's take a look at that article. I know sometimes when I do my show, I do articles where I can I give a summary and then I go into the article itself to explain more about the article. I do that because I want you to see where I'm pulling the information from in order to figure out my perspective. I get my perspective from this bit of information, and this is what my argument is resting upon. Richard Maddow just kind of gives a glimpse of the article, but let's take a look at a piece of the article, because there's a crucial bit of that article that makes everything that Rachel Maddow is saying here somewhat misleading. This is the article that she's talking about. Now, Chelsea Manning fights subpoena. Now, if you scroll down, you get to this part. Prosecutors inadvertently exposed that Julian Assange has been charged under the seal late last year, but the nature of the charges against him remain unknown to U.S. officials speaking on condition of anonymity because the grand jury, the case's secrecy, said the case is based on his pre-2016 conduct, not the election hack that drew the attention to Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Pre-2016. This explicitly says nothing to do with election hacking. Pre-2016. All right, let's go back to Maddow. Because Maddow does a bait and switch here. She's talking about Chelsea Manning in a case that has nothing to do with election hacking. Keep that in your mind. Let's keep going.
Scene at the courthouse today came after another WikiLeaks volunteer this weekend announced publicly that he is cooperating with federal prosecutors in a case related to WikiLeaks. He told reporters this weekend that he is seeking an immunity deal in conjunction with his testimony in a case involving WikiLeaks. So all of this to say, between that court filing error in November, the reporting around that error that suggested that it was weird that he was in that case and it was a mistake, but the information was true, and then what we saw today in Virginia, something appears to be happening in federal court that pertains to WikiLeaks and Julian Assange. And this is happening as the president's longtime advisor, Roger Stone, goes to trial for lying to Congress and witness tampering, allegedly, about his supposed communications with WikiLeaks during the campaign.
Did you see what just happened? Please tell me you just saw what just happened. In an article where explicitly says this is pre-2016, meaning what they're looking for is pre-2016, nothing to do with election hacking. It even says in the article, this is nothing to do with election hacking. That's the article that Rachel Maddow was referencing, and she weaves that into Roger Stone testifying for WikiLeaks in a case that has to do with, you could say, election hacking. But the first article that she gave you said that this has nothing to do with election hacking, meaning that Rachel Maddow has done a weird voodoo switch where she's combining two things that are unrelated to one another, which creates a link that doesn't exist in reality. The link that she's trying to draw here doesn't exist in reality. The first article, nothing to do with election hacking. Roger Stone has to do with election hacking. The first article explicitly states it's 2016, pre-2016 behavior. Roger Stone's 2016 behavior. They have nothing to do with one another. Bait and switch. Let's let her keep going.
It happens potentially as he's going to violating the gag order in that case. It happens as tons of people associated with the president and his campaign are being asked detailed questions by the Judiciary Committee about their interactions with WikiLeaks, including during the campaign. And it happens within a week of the president's longtime personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, testifying in Congress that the president himself was personally notified by phone in advance about WikiLeaks' plans to dump stolen material
Cohen, what Cohen said, to be specific, had more to do with. Cohen said that Roger Stone, he was in communication with Roger Stone, or the president was in communication with Roger Stone, and Roger Stone notified him that a dump was going to come out of WikiLeaks documents. The problem with this is that the dump had already been notified, meaning everybody knew about it. Roger Stone didn't have any additional information that the rest of the public didn't have. If Trump would have just went online, he would have seen that WikiLeaks had forecasted the date in which they were going to release the materials. Roger Stone didn't know anything more than anybody else knew. In this case, WikiLeaks had already said, we are going to release them on this date. So the information that Roger Stone gave Trump in this case was superfluous. It wasn't any special knowledge or special relationship that Roger Stone had with WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks has completely denied that Roger Stone has any communications with him in this case. So I give more credence to that than I give to Roger Stone, who's for the most part seems to have conned a lot of people into believing something that wasn't necessarily true. He's inflated himself to make himself more important than what he is. WikiLeaks hasn't had communication with Roger Stone. And the information that Stone gave Trump was already known to the rest of the world. It wasn't special. This clip is amazing. Like that last part, people tend to just screw with that last part, so they tend to miss into that last part. When, again, the information was available to everybody. Michael Cohen testifying to this doesn't necessarily give any additional information into this. This is secondhand testimony to some degree. Yes, Cohen was there, and Cohen is hearing Roger Stone, but nobody knows what Roger Stone had since Roger Stone had what everyone else had. But these cases are unrelated. That's a big fact that this article exists and that Rachel Maddow referenced this article. And if you weren't paying attention, fortunately, Aaron Matei on all Russia issues is always paying attention. You might have missed that. But the fact of the matter is that article is very explicit in making the point of this is pre-2016 behavior. This has nothing to do with the Russiagate case. But wait, Rachel Maddow. It's amazing. Utterly amazing. Let's let her finish. I want to let her finish. I want to hear the end of this one more time.
That Russia hacked from the Democrats during the campaign.
She did all of that. She jumped through all of those hoops, connected all of those dots all over the place in order to get to that jump of the shark of Russia and Trump. That is amazing. That is an amazing bridge to walk in order to get to the point of bashing Russians. God, man. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. God, man. God, man. It's utterly insanity. All right. I'm not going to keep this one long, so I'm going to end this here because I want to get one more in before I have to leave. If you guys enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support the PayPal or Patreon. Also, I have a fundraiser that is currently going on. I play chess sometimes on the channel, and people tend to have, derisive comments when I don't necessarily win the game that I'm involved in. So I am opening that up for chess. $5 gets 2 out of 3 games. And the game itself gets publicized. Essentially, you're going to get your own video of you getting the shit kicked out of you by yours truly. So I think that's awesome. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. Initially, I'm saying 3-minute games, but I think I'm going to expand it to 5-minute games because I think some people don't like the 3-minute games thing. But 2 out of 3. If you win 5 rounds, meaning if you do that, if you beat me 2 out of 3 games 5 times, I'll even give you a t-shirt. I have no expectation of giving many of those away at all, if any. There's going to be a board of shame where we're going to keep track of wins and losses from the standpoint of the total, meaning of everybody that's being played. That's either going to be a board of shame for you or a board of shame for me, but we will see. But I think that's an awesome idea for a fundraiser for the channel. I think that's an awesome idea. So there's that. Also, patron appreciation is going to be on Sunday at 1 p.m. My wife is going to be with me if she's up to it. We have had a great time on those last few patron appreciation episodes. So we've done it for the last maybe 2 or 3 times. The audience loved her, and those have been really big episodes. We've had like 300 people in some of those. So I think that's it. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys. I will see you guys in a few. What time is it? I don't think I have time for another one. Maybe. I'll see. Maybe. We'll see. I may see you in a few minutes. Thanks all.